Greetings, Tony from Old River Hardgoods again. Well, the music you've been listening to is the Whitecaps on Susquehanna from my third CD, Angels on Fire, and as always, links to the full version and the video I made of it are down in the description. And as you can tell by the titles page, this is going to talk about Drawknives. There are lots and lots of styles of Drawknives. We're just going to concern ourselves today with the straight-bladed versions and save the curved ones for another episode. So, hopefully this will prove to be entertaining, educational, and fun. Drawknives have a long history. There are examples going back to as far as 1000 AD, and I suspect they've been around even longer than that. And they touch just about every trade: coopering, chair making, your coach or carriage makers, your wheelwrights, your timber framing, every one of the early wooden trades had a use for this tool. And we're going to take a look at some of the different examples. These are just some of the ones I got kicking around here that in the to restore pile, and we've seen a few more of them. So sit back and enjoy. Today we're going to take a look at a Drawknife. This one's got adjustable handles on it, and was made by the James Swan Corporation Company. It's got an 8-inch blade on it. And this style was originally patented by Richard Watrous on December 15, 1857, patent number 18877. They were originally made by the Noble's Manufacturing Company of Elmira, New York. A variety of different styles and shapes. Of course, by the time Swan was making them, the original patent had long expired. And this one's in decent condition. I mean, both of the screws here work, or nuts work. Somebody added washers to help tighten things up a bit, but that's a common problem with them. The blade does have some patina, and unfortunately somebody kind of power washed this guy at some point. See the scuff marks. There are some pitted spots on there. Both of the handles are black walnut. They're original, but unfortunately both of them do move a bit. There's a way of fixing that, but that gets way a lot more time than I want to invest in this guy, seeing as how much I had to pay to get it in the first place. So, but it's kind of a handy tool, kind of a usable tool. I got these locked down just for now, so I can't show you, but you can position the handles any way you want. So if you want to have it so you're cutting like this, the handle's in this position and the blade running this way, you can do that. Don't know how many people would do it, but it is possible to do that, or you can just change the angle of it slightly. It's pretty handy design, and I know from the number of Noble's knives I've seen over the years, it must have been fairly popular, considering the extra cost for it. So, anyways, not a great, not in great condition, but still a pretty good collectible old tool. A popular and very collectible adjustable handle draw knife is this one made by Solomon Cantello. See the patent information there. He was granted patent number 454848 on June 30th, 1891 for the design of this particular draw knife. Over the years, he had a number of patents, including an earlier one from 1883, and he made a total of 5 patents for draw knives, last one being issued in 1895. This is an example here of the 1883 patent one. It's hard to say which one's more common. Honestly, I've heard it said someplace, but he wasn't in business for too long, so. But anyways, this one's in fairly good shape. The blade cleaned up nice. It's got some frosting in that. Handle's got some roughness and wear, but they still save some of the finish. This adjusts by, if I can do this one-handed, you pull on that tab on the side, and the handle locks into place. Makes it handy to go into a carpenter's toolbox, which is the whole purpose of doing this. And it locks down securely. Also protects the edge of the blade. Some of the folding handle ones don't do that, but this particular design did it, and it works pretty well. So it's a good example of a collectible and very usable old tool, that's for sure. One of the more common makers of draw knives in the 20th century is the Greenlee Tool Company of Rockford, Illinois. They were founded originally in 1876, primarily making machine tools, and then in 1910 they started making edge tools when they acquired the Reliance Edge Tool Company out of Rockford. Up top here is one of their model number 600 draw knives. This one was made for Sears, but contrary to popular opinion, Sears did not tell people to make stuff on a lower quality than they would normally make it. And this is definitely a Greenlee product. This is their 635 folding draw knife, also in 10 inches. The 600s were made in 1-inch increments from 6 inches up to 10, and then in 12 and 14. The 6 and 7 inches are pretty uncommon, at least from what I've seen. Most you find are the 10 and 12 inch ones. The folding handles were made also in a 6 to 10 inch configuration, with again the smaller 6 to 10 inch, another early morning configuration, with again the smaller sizes being fairly uncommon. And both of these have a little bit of patina going on them, but there's nothing. The back of this one's got some frosting, but that'll work just fine. You can hear the train whistle, and this one also got a little bit of pit and frosting. A couple of dings on the top. Handle finish is worn on this one, and I didn't tighten the screws when I pulled it out, but of course the advantage of the folding handle draw knife is the guy wants to stick it in his toolbox, at least for most of them. This also serves to protect the blade because the handle is notched, as you can see. Not all of them are like that, but all the Greenlees are, not all the folding handle ones are like that. But you'll have this. Anyways, these are, they're good collectibles, solid users. I've had a couple of Greenlees over the years that were basically bought and forgot. somebody purchased it and probably didn't look like they used it at all, and it came out of the basement 30, 40 years later when somebody was cleaning out the other person's tools. But that doesn't happen too often. But if you're looking for a quality draw knife, honestly, you can't do much better than this. Now we're going to do just a quick slideshow presentation on some of the other folding handle draw knives I've had over the years. First up is a Jennings. This one used just simple wing nuts with a dimple on the inside of the handle and the frame to mate and hold the handles into place. Not uncommon, but you don't see them that often. Palmer was another Connecticut manufacturer. Used a similar style of locking screw, wing nut, and notches on their tab and notch on the frame. I do have the right picture kind of scrunched so you can see it better, just the way things work with this particular setup here. This was a nice one. A&J Wilkinson and Company. John Young of Hyde Park, Massachusetts, was granted patent number 542721 on July 16, 1895 for the design of this particular draw knife. This one I do remember refinishing the handles and giving it the old extra cleaning, but it was pretty nice. They are not that common. Wilkinson made a lot of tools, but you just don't see them around anymore. And last up is a Carpenter with a K. Carpenter was a brand name used by the Winstead Edge Tool Works, the folks that brought you T.H. Witherby tools. The Carpenter line was made for military contracts mostly. If you remember the first little segment I had was the 3 draw knives, that big one with the black handles and the flaking paint. That's also a Winstead that's marked USN or Navy. You'll also find framing chisels from time to time with USN mark. And again, it's pretty much the same style as the first two with the wing nuts and just dimples on the frame, notches to fit. And then, the handle paint didn't hold up very well, but that's true with just about anything with painted handles. Look at the Type 18 Stanley planes. If you find one with minty paint, you're doing real good. So, anyways, that's it for this segment. Time for something else. One of the items that a lot of folks are interested in, of course, are smaller draw knives. This one is a Ward and Payne, Sheffield, England makers, best known for their S.J. Addis carving tools. They were the last maker of them. This one's a 4.5 inch. This one here doesn't quite have a name yet. Don't know if it will. This is a 6-inch one that I've started cleaning but haven't gotten too far on. And this one's got some issues too. I mean, it's got handles aren't matched. One was replaced at some point in time, and of course this one's got all kinds of crusty corners. Oh, the back's not too bad. The steel section, the frame's got some rot. So maybe if I get some chance before I put this video to bed, I'll take a shot of it once I get it finished up. Of course, one of the holy grails for small draw knives is the Buck Brothers 4-inch draw knife, as shown here. They are pretty uncommon. I've maybe had 3 of them over the years. This is the only one I can find a picture of. I do remember having one a number of years ago that was just mint, and that took all of about 25 minutes to sell on eBay back in the day at a really good price. Another small draw knife is this style. These are made by a number of makers. Jennings, you'll find a marked Pexto. There was at least one other one. I might have seen a Dasco mark this way too, but anyways, You know, they've got the handle set at a little bit of an offset, and they are definitely on the light side, but for doing detail work, they're pretty handy. So anyways, you know, this is a smaller member of the family. Now let's take a look at some of the hand-forged examples. Well, I don't have any really good examples of hand-forged draw knives at present. They've been selling, or I haven't been finding anything really good. This one just showed up in a box of stuff, but, you know, here's an example of one. It's in pretty rough shape. I know what's going to wind up, but it ain't going to be available for public sale, I don't think. But anyways, I've had some gorgeous ones over the years, and here's a few examples of them. The one there is actually, I think, was a 4-inch or 4.5-inch one with a really skinny blade. I also get a lot of them made from old files. That's somewhat common. I had a beautiful one many years ago that was made from a rasp, and of course it still had the rasp tooth pattern on it, and I called it the Dragon because that sucker was sharp, and it was big too. It wasn't a smaller one. I think it was either 12 or 14-inch blade. And that went out to historical site out in the upper Midwest area to one of my reenacting friends, and I'm guessing he's still using it out there. So, but these are, again, they're good collectibles. You find one that's, you know, with good handles, that's always an issue. You know, I wouldn't be afraid of investing the money in them, because if they lasted 100, 125 years, they've probably got that much life left in them, as long as you don't tend to sharpen them, you know, by taking off 1/8 of an inch of blade every time you do it. Anyways, let's move on to something else. And for something a little different in a draw knife is this bad boy. This was made by L&I.G. White, well-known tool makers out of Buffalo, New York. They made edge tools, Cooper's tools, all sorts of goodies. And the blade on this one's 6 inches long. It's like 5 9/16 or something like that deep. I mean, never seen one like this before. Of course, the one handle was replaced at some point, or that one's just hard to say which is which, but maybe both of them were replaced. Back's pretty funky. I really didn't do nothing to this guy. I mean, it's been sitting around here. I just dusted off the mark just to be able to read it, but I'm sure they had a specific use in mind, but what it was is kind of lost to history, I fear. Unless I can dig out the L&I.G. White catalog, but, yeah, you never know. Well, I did a quick look in the L&I.G. White catalog that's available online, and nothing similar to that particular style of draw knife showed up, so your guess is as good as mine. But anyways, moving on to another style. This is called a mast shave. This one was made by John Conger, Mark's Partial. He was a New York City edge tool maker. Worked from 1817 until either 1841 or 1860. There's some wonderment about that. And I haven't gotten around to trying to do any cleaning on this guy. It's got some flea market dew marks on it. Handles look to be original. Somebody sprayed them. Unfortunately, somebody kind of power washed this guy, as you can see on the back. And it does have some pitting, but it's probably sharp. And again, these are available in all different sizes. L&I.G. White lists them from 6 inches up to as big as 14 inches, and I have seen them bigger. Yeah. 16-inch draw knife. Imagine driving that puppy all day, right? And that's all for this one, folks. No flea market segment this week. After the good run of pickings I had the previous week. This week's been pretty much on the dry side. So, anyways, as always, if you like what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button to be notified when new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, and bye.